All right. So next question, can you explain yield farming? Okay. All right. So I'll do my best to try to explain my understanding of yield farming. Obviously, I'm no DeFi expert just yet. I myself have not done any yield farming, but I've been reading up on it. And I think best way to really just kind of explain it is you're basically getting yield from different cryptocurrencies. So basically kind of you're earning interest or basically savings. However, you're doing it across several platforms, several DeFi platforms. So, for example, best example is if we go to this is so for example, Ren and Synthetics and Curve have basically teamed up to provide yield farming to their customers or users on DeFi. And the way this works is so the public basically right, provides Ren BTC, which is basically SBTC and WBTC, basically Bitcoin on DeFi protocols for each platform. So you stake the liquidity or the token, in this instance, on a platform from Synthetics called Minter, and you basically earn CRV rewards. This is a token from Curve, which is a DeFi platform that lets you do all of that. So, for example, Synthetics and the Ren team also provide rewards. So basically, you have three projects: Synthetics, Ren, and Curve. They give rewards to people who provide liquidity. And then here you also have some other rewards. So best example is if you go to curve.fi or curve.fi, and if we look at different pools available, so for example, here we have the Y pool. Basically, whatever collateral you put up, you basically split it between, you have DAI, USDC, USDT, and TUSD. So basically all these are stable coins. And this is paying out 57% annual interest, right? But this is different from yield farming through Synthetic, Curve, and Ren. So basically you're earning in tokens that are being ponied up by these platforms to incentivize, right? As it says here, right? They're launching a new incentivized pool to provide liquidity for tokenized BTC on Ethereum. So in an effort to get more people to migrate from Bitcoin, kind of as we mentioned earlier, migrate from their Bitcoin onto DeFi. So this is where I think DeFi can really blow up. And that's why I myself have had lots of my friends who have lots of Bitcoin say, I mean, I'm just holding Bitcoin in my wallet when I can just transfer it over to Ren BTC, SBTC, or WBTC and earn all these other different altcoins just for having it there. It's basically free money in a way, right? Obviously, there's no free lunch. There are some risks involved with things like that, right? Because I believe with this, the assets are locked, I believe, in a smart contract. But everything is decentralized. And as we've seen in the past, there have been some hacks in the past or glitches with different smart contracts on DeFi. So definitely probably also worth looking into platforms probably like Nexus Mutual, which is decentralized insurance. So which protects you from any smart contract hacks. Now be cautious, they don't protect you from any issues found later on that aren't due from bad code. So for example, one of the glitches that happened wasn't due to a hack, it was just due to somebody taking advantage of the way the contract was programmed. So definitely be cautious of that. So they only protect you from issues that basically are due from hacking. Any thoughts or comments on that, Bill, in terms of yield farming? It is something that is relatively new, but has been trending up in the last month or so.
Right. So let's talk about these big returns that are being offered, right? So some might say, well, it's a bubble, it's not sustainable. On the other hand, I actually love it because they're incentivized. You're getting paid to take risk in this stuff. You know, crypto used to be, oh, okay, it's gambling. No, you're taking risk. And if you take a certain kind of risk, you'll get paid. How much? Well, a lot. Okay. So this is how like fledgling industries work, right? They pay people to take risk. And I think this is evidence that this is going to be a real industry because people are going to start pouring in. I mean, you had Bitcoin and you used to have to just sit around and hope when you picked up your phone and it went to the moon. Now it's becoming like an investable asset. It's collateral. I mean, the word collateral doesn't get thrown around much in crypto, but if government securities are questionable, if you can't sell your house, you couldn't sell your car before this happened. Now forget about it. What's collateral? What can you borrow against that makes any sense? Well, guess what? Ether or wrapped Bitcoin is just as good of an answer. So crypto as collateral, love it. The fact that they're paying people to do it, excellent. The fact that someone's calling Ian and saying, hey, how do I do this? Even better.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely worth anybody out there, definitely look into it, especially if you have lots of Bitcoin or if you have lots of ERC20 tokens. I mean, DeFi lending and borrowing is definitely more risky, but I would say DeFi lending in general is something every investor in crypto should definitely have in their portfolio or look into, because it's one way to just mitigate risk and to also get paid for it as a result. All right. Let us know what you think. Are you currently yield farming? Do you have different tokens you're looking into? Let us know down in the comments below.